Välkommen alla sammen, coming at you from the beautiful Montana mountains today. I don't know, maybe if I just start talking bullshit and playing around with a camera in the woods, I can be famous like every other pagan YouTuber. Oh. But I'm just kind of freestyling up here because I don't have my books and computers to assemble all of the sources and research that I usually do in my videos. So I thought I'd make a popular video that a lot of other people have done, and it's beginner tips coming into Norse paganism. So I'm going to tell you some things that you're not going to hear anywhere else. First thing, the most important, do not take anybody's word for things. Do not trust anyone. This is the religion with homework, and you have to really do your own homework, unfortunately. I wish we had a Bible or somebody who was knowledgeable out there online or writing books that we could trust, but the truth is there is absolutely no one that I would trust with that information. There is no one that you should put your trust with your beliefs in. You need to figure out what you believe in yourself, because there's just so many people talking absolute crap online with no sources to back it up. They're frankly just making up things about history. Don't trust anybody. Don't even trust me either. Don't trust me either. I don't even though I try to assemble the sources in the most educational, academic way possible, there's definitely, you know, influences that even I bring into my theories and philosophies about Norse paganism. So don't even trust me, don't trust anybody. Do the research yourself and come up with your own beliefs. This is what paganism is about. All paganism, no matter where you come from in the world, any kind of tribal religion, is about what you personally believe in. The monotheistic religions, they are the ones that are so big on believe this or I'll kill you, believe this or you're going to hell. This is not what paganism is about. So that is the most important thing that everyone needs to realize. Don't expect to get your answers from anyone else, and don't trust anyone else. Number two, the second biggest mistake that I see in paganism: don't try to bring your views on other religions into paganism and what you think religion is. You need to completely get all of what you know about religion out of your head. Most of the time, it's a lot of Christian people who have been raised very Christian, and they're trying to come into paganism and basically bring in their philosophies about what they think a religion should be and bringing that into paganism. This is the absolute opposite. This has to do with the rituals, this has to do with the beliefs, this has to do with pretty much everything. Every aspect of paganism, I see people putting their Christian influence in that, and it's very wrong. Christianity is fine. If you want to be Christian, that's great, but you know, don't bring that stuff into paganism, because that just you end up completely missing the point. If you want to bring any other type of religious beliefs into paganism, then it needs to be one of our closely related religions. If you know enough about Celtic paganism or Greek paganism, things like that, unfortunately, we don't know a whole lot about those. A lot of those sources were destroyed, and we don't know how their actual religion was either. So if you want to know our closest surviving relative, it's actually Hinduism. We were both one people, one Indo-European people, about 8,000 years ago, and then we evolved into two different places. So if you're gonna look to any type of other religion, look to Hinduism, but like I said, it's best if you just clear your mind of what you think religion should be, and go from there. And number three mistake, and the third, you know, just tip I have for beginners, this is also a mistake I see a lot of the time. Don't put too much emphasis on the gods. You know, a lot of people coming in, they're so focused on learning about the gods, reading the myths, praying to the gods, making offerings to the gods, talking to the gods, all these kinds of things. And yeah, sure, that's all well and good, but I made a video about this too, and I'll link that in the description below, but the gods were actually not the biggest and most important part of paganism. The gods, all they are basically the gods are for us, the myths are for us. You got to understand, gods, they're their own thing. They have existed since the beginning of time. They are their own energies. They are their own spiritual, entities. They are these spiritual beings or certain types of energies and things that we find in the world and the universe. The way we portray them as superhuman beings, like Thor swinging his hammer up in the clouds, or Odin who cut out his one eye. These myths are for us. These myths are for us to understand the universe. They are not for the gods. The gods have existed there forever. The gods know that we know they are there. We don't need these myths to focus on them so much and take everything as literal events that actually happen. Of course, a lot of these defy the laws of physics. Instead, I would like to see people placing a lot more focus on other entities in paganism. There are land spirits, there are Disir, there are elves, there are trolls, there are so many other spiritual beings that are actually around us all the time. Call it whatever you want. You can call it different types of energy, you can call it spiritual beings, you can call it deities, whatever. All they are certain types of energy around us that we are trying to understand. It comes back to this idea of animism. So I would really recommend you watch my other video and find out what all the other types of spiritual entities there are in paganism, because like I said, there are people putting way too much focus on the gods, and really the gods, we're lucky to come in contact with them. In the historical sources, the gods were very, very lucky to be contacted once a year, once every 9 years, things like that, or in battle, very, very specific events. The gods might show up and have influence on our life in this form of energy that we don't quite understand, honestly. But all these other spiritual entities, they are around us all the time. We made offerings to them in ancient times. We use them for help with magic. We use them for help with healing. We were in close contact with these other entities much, much more often, daily, like on the daily basis. Whereas the gods, you're lucky to be in contact with them once every few years, in all reality, if we're to be honest with ourselves. So those are my 3 tips. Hope you enjoyed it. It's just some sort of different perspective that you're probably not going to hear somewhere else, but that's all I have to say for today. Vi ses nästa gång.